them like, we're supposed to teach all the kids, like, go to college and that's your best way to make money and live a good life. And I would tell the kids, you don't need to go to college. Like, you can go straight out, get a job, own your own business, do this, do that. I said, I made more money uneducated than I did educated.
Yeah.
I was making, close to 200,000 at one point owning my own business, a year. So, and then I taught, and I'm making like 75, like, there's a huge difference. So.
Jonathan, I know you're big into the Bible and all that kind of stuff. I read all kinds of different religions and all that, but I believe that faith goes in action. It's in doing, it's in taking knowledge and giving to the world with your knowledge by taking action that our souls actually grow. That's my belief. And that's what I've been going on for a while. Obviously I believe you believe that too, because you wouldn't be sitting here if you didn't. You put that knowledge into yourself, you learn. You probably picked up on sales pretty quick, right?
Well, not really. I think Hal and Simon had to beat it into me a little bit, but being in business obviously helps. I'm sure when you started this business, because you've been in a lot of businesses, you were able to kind of take a lot of what you learned and apply it. So, and there's failures. I failed many a times. I failed in this business. I failed in other businesses, like, and just growing from it is the most important thing. And like you said, taking action. There's a quote that I have up here, it says, God, what does it say? It says, I don't know. It says something about like God's gift to you. God gives his gifts to you, but your gift to him is how you use it. So if you just sit around and be idle, like you're not helping anybody, you're not helping yourself. And I think, we all have talents, we all have abilities. And, in this business specifically, there's a lot of fear, fear of cold calling, fear of following up, fear of failure. But when you get past that, and you get your first deep dive, you get your first close, you get your first customer, like there's nothing like it, man. Like that high is invigorating.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah. Cause it's seriously your soul growing, right? Cause you get to see the light, you get to see the world from a different viewpoint. Right. And it continues to build and possibilities build on possibilities is what I believe. So it's in action that we create new possibilities for our lives. So like you might've started, Jonathan, and went, I just want to do, 10 screencasts a day. I just want to do 50 cold calls a day, right? And you start there. But once you start winning, now the possibilities start creating possibilities, right? And the soul continues to grow and you continue to gain knowledge and continue to use that knowledge to help. And I think this is really huge, guys, is understand if you're gaining knowledge to only grow yourself and not to help the world and not to help small business owners and not to help in general, right? Give back good energy and keep a balance. I think there's a balance there in life as well. Givers and takers. That's why we have givers gain right inside this group. It's because I truly believe that if you're a taker, you're not going to be up for too long in life. You're never going to sit up on that throne for too long. Your business isn't going to do too good for too long because you're a taker, right? And so you have to be a giver. There's a huge thing here that you guys can take away from this. And that's the fact that, yes, build your faith, gain your knowledge, take action, let possibilities build possibilities, but do what you say, be a giver, figure out how to utilize those skills, utilize that knowledge to give back to this world. Because if you do, that's where your soul really starts to soar, right? And so I think that Jonathan's done a great job at that, and you can see that. I mean, let's talk a little bit about, everybody wants to hear this, by the way, a little bit about being a high school teacher and what that was like, and what, like, I know you told me in the interview that you taught history, right?
Well, the funny thing was my first job, I got hired on as a website, teaching website development, which I didn't know how to do at the time, to a class with no computers. So that was my first job. And I'm like, how am I supposed to do this? I'm already using the Bosch techniques back then, I guess. But they said, don't worry about it. So that was my first job. But then I got into history, and I've been teaching like college prep classes, like Avid. I don't know if anybody knows what Avid is, but I've been teaching that for a long time. Was the coordinator at my school. And I was teaching them like, we're supposed to teach all the kids, like, go to college, and that's your best way to make money and live a good life. And I would tell the kids, you don't need to go to college. Like, you can go straight out, get a job, own your own business, do this, do that. I said, I made more money uneducated than I did educated.
Yeah.
I was making, close to 200,000 at one point owning my own business, a year. So, and then I taught, and I'm making like 75, like, there's a huge difference. So, I'm telling people the exact opposite of what I'm supposed to be telling them. But I mean, at the end of the day, these kids need to know,
They need to know truth. And that brings me to the next subject. And obviously a high school teacher, you're going to know this better than anything. But I feel like in high school, I feel like in school in general, they're training the kids, and they're training our kids. They trained us, right? Us as well. How to be employees for people, how to be the best employee, how to be the best manager, etc. for these large corporations. I don't feel like they ever want you to get outside the box to create your own, right? To own your own dreams, to control your own time, right? And so what did you think about your curriculum and what you were teaching these kids? I'm glad that you said that, hey, you know what? I was telling these kids, fuck that. Hey, go make money. You know what I mean? Like, these guys aren't giving you everything here, which I'm sure opened a lot of their minds. And you'll probably later in life, these kids are probably going to come up to you owning their own business, doing their own thing, and they're going to seriously give you a big ass hug. Because guys, one of the reasons I am where I am right now is I had this teacher named Tubby. Okay, Mr. Tubby. He was a marketing teacher. I took 2 years of marketing in high school. I bet you guys couldn't tell, but I took 2 years of marketing in high school, and I really loved it. And one thing this teacher told me was, Josh, all this other bullshit they're telling you in here, you don't have to listen to it. Okay, don't listen to it. Go and create your own. Go and build your own. Go and look at what the people that in this world right now that you look up to. Go and find out what they do. And I started doing that, and I was like, oh, I really look up to my cousin Jeremy, and I went and looked what he did. He owned a tree service company. He had his own company, had a nice truck, had all this equipment, had a nice house, was like on 50 acres out there, like was able to afford all this stuff. And I started actually looking at people that, one, I really liked their values in life, like the way they treated their family, the way they did stuff. And all these people were business owners. So Mr. Tubby was 100% correct, including Mr. Tubby owned the only pawn shop in the whole town. And so he wasn't just a teacher that came in and taught students how to be, a freaking employee somewhere. He was in there trying to make a difference. The guy didn't have to teach, made a lot of money with his freaking pawn shop, but he came to give back. And so he taught 2 classes there every single day, Monday through Friday. And I was in every single one of them. And then I became his assistant, his little assistant to get credits or whatever. So yeah, absolutely. I see it funny that we brought this up, but I think I connected with you the second I interviewed you the other day. I connected with you. And I think it's because you remind me a lot of Mr. Tubby, that you're giver's gain. You're like, hey, yeah, I'm doing great, but how can I give back? How can I help others do the same?